morning to all of my students, my dear students, that we are with you. Welcome on this channel. This is BPSC 133, and we are here with the IGNU online services, online lectures. We are going to give in you. Myself, Dr. Lata Sharma, is now with you. So be comfortable and be healthy with all of your belongings. We are going to start with a new chapter, that is BPSC 133, that is Comparative Government and Politics. I'm your professor, and we are going to start a new topic, that is pressure groups. As students, you are aware that in political parties, and if we discuss to the comparative government and politics, if we discuss the politics, that is a organ, we can say these are the political parties, and the pressure groups can be counted for making the political parties and political scenario in a strong way. That is, the political parties has a opposite party also, and same time there is a group also we consider, that is pressure groups. What is the workings, what will be the values, and what is the importance of these pressure groups and what they do? These are everything should be explained here. And what is the value of pressure groups for making their political party impressions and affections, and what is the importance of pressure groups in constitution and our Indian governmental politics? This that all everything should be we will discuss here. So now we are going with this new topic, that is pressure groups. Pressure group is an organized group that aims to influence the policies or actions of government through the use of lobbying and propaganda. They act as a channel of communication between the people and government. Now, this is pressure groups. What is the meaning, and what they have to be confirmed, and what is the formation, why they have been organized? So we will discuss here. This is pressure groups and organized group. These all pressure groups is in remain in an organized form, and that aims to influence. Their work is only to influence the policies or actions which the government has make for the welfare of the society, and through the use of lobbying. What they do for this, because they cannot stand in front of the government, so they have a method that by these use of lobbying and propaganda, they effect and they changes and they can transform the policies, and they influence the policies that the government has organized, the government has evaluated. And we can say that they act as a channel of communication. What they do, they do a channel of communication between which, this is between the political parties and between the government and between the pressure groups, between the people and the government. This is also here that the government policies and actions should be checked by the lobbying and propaganda. They can use their method, and the influence upon the workings of the government, and they always remain in the favor of people, so they have remained for the sake of society. Their organized manner and their organized way is only to be the welfare of the society. So this is pressure groups, and is an organized group. This is first to be we cover here, that pressure groups is an organized, not a organized group. And this is, they have a particular purpose and aim, that they want to influence the policies which the government has made. What the method they use the lobbying and propaganda for this, for influencing the policies that has been made by the government, and they act as a channel of communication. What they do, that they have a communication mediator, we can say, between the people and the government. So people and the government, they are the mediator, and they make the communication. They make a social connection between the society and the government. So pressure groups, this is again here organized, and they influence the government policies, and they act as a channel of communication, and they have the connection between the people and the government. So this is pressure groups we have covered here. This is, we can see the definition, we can see the meaning of the pressure groups, and with this, with all of many authors and writers, we can go with the definitions also. So this is the main thing that you have to cover here, that is what is pressure groups, you have to be clear here. Next is there is pressure groups are defined by three key features. What their workings, pressure groups, what they want, what they do, and what their definition and what their workings is defined here. That they seek to exert influence from outside rather than to win or exercise government power. What they do for this? They seek to exert influence from outside. They take the influence, they take the impression from the outside, not rather than the exercise they do that for that the government will help us their, for making the confirmation of their working. So they make a exercise for making the effect from outside, and they have a working of that. They doesn't depend on the government power, they depend on their outside influence that they want to exert, that they want to they are not depend on the government power. Next is there, they typically have a narrow issue focus. In some cases, they may focus on a single issue. This is also a main thing is here, that there is a not a big issue they have. The pressure groups not a big issue. There is a very narrow and very short and very easy topics they can cover and from the society. Not they have issues that they take from the societies. They can be a narrow and they can be in a very large sense also, but mostly and normally they use the narrow issues. And in some cases, most of the timings they focus on a single issue that is to be covered here, that their workings, the pressure group workings, they have a single issue, and they have a narrow issue focus. So this is the thing that they have remained. This is the importance of their workings, that is that they have a focused personality, they have a focused organized work. So they are not to be disturbed by anybody because they have a single issues. They always focused on a single issue, and they are not misguided by any outside workings. Their members are united by either a shared. This is here that the organized way of their groups helps them to make the members in a united form. Either they can be a shared, either they can do functions accordingly with their ideology, with their interest, but they are not, but they are united. They are, their workings are can be seen with, they get together workings, and they can be shared, they can be individually, they can also work, but they are, their members remain in a united form. So these are the three key features we have seen here, that what is the pressure groups, what is the definition, and we can say what type of workings can be defined here. So these are the three, that is, they make the influence from outside, not inside, by not the government power, and they win, they make their exercise, that they make a positive value of the government for which they are going to influence. They typically have, because most of the timings they have not too much issues, but they can focus on a single issue easily, and they have a narrow issues. They these issues and these problems can be created, and these can be arises from the society, and this is the main functioning, that their functioning is totally depend on the focus on single issue. Their members are united. This is also to be covered here, that their members, the organized members, they are united, but in the way of workings, in the functioning, in the sharing, and in all of the system, they have remained, they can share everything, but they mostly they remain in a united form. So this is the key features of pressure groups, that they are defined like that. What we can say are there, what is the history of making the pressure groups, the origin of pressure groups, what is the reason that they have covered up in the history, and there has remained a past of the pressure groups. There we can say the pre-industrial phases from 1830 to 1870s, charitable organization existing, The poor represented the dominant form of association. Membership in these organizations consisted mostly of middle class citizens. The history, and we can say the prehistory of this formation of the pressure groups, is simply based on the, we can say, the exploitation has been remained that timings, that is the time, the pre-industrial phases we are discussing here. This is 1830 to 1870. And a charitable organization which we are going to cover here, that they assist the poor represented, and they dominate the total association. Membership in these organizations consisted mostly of middle class. There is a membership, and they are mostly from the middle class citizens. Citizens is there, but the charitable organization mostly dominant from all of these middle class citizens and the members. Second phase, we can say the correspondence to the process of industrialization between the 1860 and the early 1900s. During this time, group membership began to cross class lines. This period saw the establishment of economic groups such as trade unions and employers' organizations. Moreover, agricultural groups formed in order to represent their interests. In the second phase of that is 1860, and we can say the first phase has remained the timings of 1830s to 1870s. This is the first pre-industrial phase we have counted here, we have given here, with the example of charitable organization, that they want a dominance figure, and they dominate upon the middle class citizens. Second phase we are going to give attention here, that this is the second phase is process of industrialization between the 1860 and early 1900. During this time, this is a class lines, because this is a establishment of economic group and trade unions, because the exploitation and the social and the structured economic groups has make the employers in a very poor situation. So agricultural groups formed, and economic groups formed, and for the this is we can say this is this period saw the establishment of economic groups such as trade union and employers organizations. Because of this is the process of industrialization, and this industrialization, most of the employers has been remain in a very poor form. They are not in a comfortable zone. They are not giving the facilities. They are not, we can say that they are the employer of a organization in a social form, but they have remained. And so for this reason, they make their rights, they want their rights, for making them also fruitful for their workings. That for this reason, the this period has given the groups, the origin of the groups, that is economic group and trade unions, and many employers organization begin to start, and they have a formation. That in agriculture groups has been also has been formed to, they want what they want, that they want to express their interest, that they want their freedom, they want their working journeys result, and they want their cultural aspect interest, and they should be they should be flourished as accordingly to their workings. So this is many and many their interest they have, they want their facilities and everything. And they also want that they should be covered in a medical helpline. So all of these is the second phase, we can say, and this is the process of industrialization between the 1860s and 1900. This is to be, please keep in mind that this is the second phase, and this is the timings of 1860s and 1900s. So this is the time of group membership begin to cross class line, because class lines has been crossed here, and new groups, new employers organization rights and everything is going to be formed, and they have the interest. They have not make the their organization for as in a zero form, not they have their interest, so they want a right, and they want their interest should be fulfilled. So this is the second phase, the process of industrialization. We can see this is the history of pressure groups. The third phase lasted from 1922. the late 1950s. We are discussing here the third phase. That is 1920 to 1950s. The first phase, second phase, and third phase is here, and was characterized by the emergence of professional associations and promotional groups. What is happening in this phase, for the history of pressure groups, that is 1920 to 1950s, that the emergence of professional association. They have a very compact type of association. They have a organized associations, and they have a particular workings of professionals, not in a general way. They have made their association in a professional way. And promotional groups, what they have done, they have make, in the history of pressure groups we are going to cover here, that is promotional groups they have to make also. Groups in membership increase to embrace progressively. What is that? Many persons, many citizens and many persons have become the progressive increasement of membership, larger segments to the population. This is that the class group has been found, and in that the population, the class group population has been progressively have the became the member of all these group, that is promotional group, professional association. This is because they want that their groups can listen to their voice, and they will raise the voice in front of the industries, factories, and all of the owners and chairpersons of the society. So this is the third phase, and this is the timings in 1920 to 1950s. The fourth and present phase can be regarded as a product of post-industrialization. This is we are going to cover, that is fourth and present phase. This is the present phase, and this can be counted as a fourth phase. Product of industrialization. This is the timing then when the production and the post industrialization has been started, and the production and industries has the same meaning, because of industries have the rights to make the production, and they want the members, they want the employees. For this they have to make their workings better. It is characterized by the rise of groups promoting post industrial values, environmental issues, and civil rights. In general, post industrial democracies tend to display a higher level of pluralism than previous phases. The fourth and present phase, we can say, that is regarded as a product of post industrialization. This way, before the post industrialization, it has been it has a rise of, we can treat as a rise of groups promoting post in the industrial values. What they want, that they are going to promote post industrial values. They want environmental issues that should be solved, and civil rights also, because they have become aware all of the production and the industrialization process. And the government and the UNO and all of the organization is going to give it is going to start a new revolution and new thing for the rights of the people. So there is 1788, 1769. There is many and many revolution has been done accordingly in the industrialization phases. So for this, they have awakened, and they knows their values, and for this they demand for the post industrial values and the environmental values and the civil rights. And in general, we can say post industrial democracies tend to display a higher level of pluralism than previous phases. There is to be seen that post-industrial democracies tend to display higher level of pluralism, and they post-industrial democracies has a very pure counting as a level of pluralism than previous phases. This means that they have a more and more type of organization, and they have their interest more and more rather than the first, second, and third phases. And this is a timing of production of post industrialization. And this is the rights timings, and the constitution and everything should be covered by the employees. And the laws has been made, that is industrial law and business law. So this is all about that they have make their presence in front of society. These are the phases that has been covered by the pressure groups. That after that, the pressure groups can be counted as in after these phases who has made the associations and who has made the groups. So this is the promotional group, we can say, industrial group, we can say. This is all the groups that has been seen all of the phases, and they have converted now. They can be, their working can be seen as a pressure groups. So this is the history of pressure groups. Now this is types of pressure groups: interest groups and cause groups, insider groups and outsider groups. There is also the types, and we can see the differences of interest groups and cause groups, and insider groups and outsider groups. Now we will define the interest groups here. A pressure group that exists to advance or protect the interest of the members. This is here, the interest word is going to be clear here, that what is the meaning of interest groups, that a type of group that has that have a sense of protection of the members of their interest. What they do, the group always work on the interest of the members. What is the interest can be, they are especially for the benefit and the for sake of the employees, the members of the organization, members of the groups. This is interest groups. And what will be the features? They are concerned to protect or advance the interest of their members. Membership is limited to people in a particular occupation, career, or economic position. So, these interest groups are not open for all of the persons, for all of the members. This is here. Then, what is the key features? What is the key features that they do the work? So, they are only concerned to protect or advance the interest of their members. They are totally they are concerned, they are totally focused for the protection or making the advancement of the interest of the members. Their group that interest groups want to do the favor of the advancement and protection of security and rights and all above for their members. Membership is limited to people in a particular occupation, career, or economic position. There is here that they are not open to all the membership they give. That is a particular occupation can remain, and career or economic position. They want that the interest groups remain in a limited and organized form. So this they doesn't want to give the membership to all of the persons. They have limited by their membership process. The particular occupation, career, or economic position they want to give. This is second is cause group. Cause group is a meaning is to be clear here, that a pressure group that exists to advance particular values, ideals, and principles. They work on the advancement of values. Cause group is here that they have interest of cause. That is, cause is based on values, ideals, and principles. This is basic workings here. They work only the values, ideals, and principles. They seek to advance particular ideals or principles. Membership is open to all. Members are motivated by moral or altruistic concerns, the betterment of the others. That is altruistic. They have a particular membership, that they want that every person who want to become the member of this group, for this cause group, the group is open to all, and these members are motivated by moral. What is their morality by which they are motivated? That they concerns for the betterment of the others, for they want that the forsake and we can say for the betterment and for the goodness of the others. So this is membership is open to all. This is the cause group and the pressure group that exists to advance particular values. They works only the cultural based and ideological based. They have a focus. Their traditional values is to be counted here, principles can be counted here, ideals, that ideals of that particular religion can be counted here, values, what is the values of this particular society, that is also be counted here. That is particular values, ideals and principles. So this is the more workings depend on all of these particulars. That is cause group work. Insider groups, a pressure groups that enjoy regular, privileged and usually institutionalized access to government subcategories, high profile insider groups, low profile insider groups, and prisoner groups. There is also insider that remain inside. This type of groups has remained inside. A new type of pressure group that enjoy regular privilege. What they do, that they enjoy the regular privilege, regular benefit from the insider, inside of that institutional access, and the government subcategories. They remain inside of these government subcategories and institutionals, and they can be there. They can be three type. That is high profile insider groups that they get the regular enjoyment and privilege inside the government subcategories. That is high profile insider groups. Low profile insider groups, they are not too much they are not too much engaged with the privilege, and they are not in a position of privileges, and that is low profile insider group. And prisoner groups, that is also here prisoner groups, that they also remain inside of the government subcategories and institutions, that we can say. And they are also I think you have also seen that the prisoner groups remain, some remain is a high profile, some remain is a low profile, and some remain is in prisoner profile. So this is here, that is a insider group that remain in a different forms. Kinds of pressure and pressure politics. This is here, kinds of pressure and pressure politics. Group pressure is in the legislature. That pressure politics and kind of pressure groups there is to be covered here. That group pressure in the legislature. The activities of pressure groups in the legislature are most evident in the support of a legislative proposal. If it is for the promotion of the group pressure upon administration, if a pressure group fails to win the support of the legislature on a bill it is interested in defeating, it may still strive or presidential veto. What is the workings of pressure groups, and what is the different kinds of pressure groups in a pressure politics? What they do in a pressure politics? This is to be read here, and we can say discuss here. Pressure groups in the legislature. What they do in the legislature? The activities of pressure group in the legislature are most evident in support of a legislative proposal. What they want? That they want their workings, the legislative proposal. If it is for the promotion of the group's pressure, what they do? They make the pressure upon the administrators, and they have a they want a legislative support there. And in that cases, if the pressure groups fails to win the support of the legislature on a bill for which they are going to take the positivity, it is interested in defeating, it may still strive for a presidential veto. So, if becoming failure in the to taking the support of the legislature on a bill, their interest in defeating remain more strong, and it may still strive for a presidential veto. This is kind of pressure and pressure politics, group pressure in the legislature. This is second is kinds of pressure and pressure politics, that is group pressure upon judges. What the group pressure remain upon the judges, because this is that they can do the pressure on legislature. They can pressure because they have to make their interest positively, and they want that the all of the society and parliamentary and legislature will cover up their statement, and they say yes for the betterment of the public and for their interest. So pressure groups take a very positive, and they give the pressure upon the judges also. That is, pressure politics has also gained access into the sanctuaries of justice, the courts, pressure group upon political parties and the candidates. Pressure groups brought up to bear upon political parties and candidates is done through electioneering. What they do, that group pressure upon judges. What they do for this, that pressure politics has also gained access into the sanctuaries of justice, the courts and the pressure groups. Political parties, they have the political parties and the candidate group pressure brought up a bear upon political parties and candidate is done through electioneering. They have a pressure like this. They make the pressure on the politics and political parties for making their interest in a truthful sense. This is that what process and what is the method they use for the lobbying for the affection. They want a affection, we can say affection, we can say. What is the method they strongly use for making their interest positive? That is, first is direct lobbying, act of communicating a specific position directly to a legislature, staff member, and any other public official who has a voice in the piece of legislation. What they do for this, for the lobbying, they act a communication, they do a communication, a specific position person. That can be a legislator also, and their staff members, from their staff members can be, and any other public official who has a voice in a piece of legislation. They took up, they communicate a person of the legislator, that can be staff member, can be another public official, can be, and who has an important voice, who has a very great personality in the legislation, that their voice can be heard. So they do the direct lobbying. The pressure groups do the direct lobbying by selecting, by communicating a person who are who have a voice in a piece of legislation, and that person can be a legislator, that is staff member, and any other public official who has a voice in a piece of legislation. This is, we have discussed here the types of lobbying, that is direct lobbying. What is the direct lobbying here? What they do, that they communicate a person of specific position, that can be legislature, that can be staff member, and the public official, that a higher positioned person can be, that who has a piece of voice in the legislation, and the higher officials. This is types of lobbying. Grassroots lobbying, this is the second point here, that this is also cover here in types of lobbying, that is grassroots lobbying. What is the meaning of grassroots lobbying? That the pressure groups communicates a particular view regarding a specific legislative proposal to the general public, and persuades citizens to rely this view to their local legislature. For this, they want a grassroots working, and they use it for pursuing any legislative proposal. They communicate for making the positivity of their legislative proposal. They communicate to the public, and they pursues to the citizens that the legislative proposals should be viewed by their local legislatures. So grassroots lobbying always depend on the persons that remain in a grassroots position. This is the second type of lobbying. This is first time of, that is direct lobbying, and second is grassroots lobbying. Functions of pressure groups. First is representation, and second is political participation, and third is education. These are the functions of pressure group, they work accordingly for the representation, for the political participation, and for the education. These are the three functions for which they are covered, for which they are working, have remained focused. And interest, first we are going to hear that functions of pressure groups, that is representation. So this is the representation, and interest that are not adequately represented through the electoral process or by political parties, that is here representation. Political participation, next is political participation. Pressure groups convince people effectively to develop interest and participation from broad based discussions on pressing issues affecting them. The pressure groups by the political participation, they use this method for they use this doing this function, the political participation. They make what they do, that they pressure groups convince people, they convince to the people that they develop interest and they take the participation in the and discussion of the political participation, that and their broad based discussions can press can give the pressure upon the issues, and they affect them, for which issues they are going to pressurize the political participation. So this is the working, that they want that the political participation should be done by the members of the groups, and they have a interest, that they should create interest of participation in a political participation, and by this they will remain in a discussions of the political participation, in the political parties and political participation, and they will be in a form of affecting the issues that are affecting to their society. Next is education. Pressure groups operate largely through their ability to communicate with the public and raise political consciousness. Education is a very important, strong type and function, we can say. By these pressure groups got their values and their results, and they make the pressure upon the political parties and most of the institutions and associations. That is, pressure groups operate largely through their ability to communicate with the public and raise political consciousness. They make the sense, they make the awareness, they make the education to the they operate, that the communication between the policy makers and the public should remain, and with this the public will be aware about the public will be aware about the policies that has been given by the government. For this, they make the population that the population should be educated, and with the public, and they with this reason they raise the political consciousness in front of the general public. Now this is we are here that political participation we have discussed here. Political participation and education, these are the forms that education we have given. Now we are going to again uh, giving some impressions upon all of these topics, that is repeating again the political party pressure groups, that is the pressure groups. What is pressure groups here? That is, Pressure groups is an organized group that aims to influence the policies or actions of government through the use of lobbying and propaganda. What the pressure groups do? They influence the policies or actions of the government through the use of lobbying and propaganda. They act as a channel of communication between the people and the government. What we have said also before, that they act accordingly to the channel and the mediator of the communication between the people and the government. This is also given here. The three features of the pressure groups is here. They seek to exert influence from outside rather than to wield or exercise government power. They typically have a narrow issue focus. In some cases, they may focus on a single issue. Most of the timings, what has happened that the pressure groups have a narrow issues focus, but sometimes they have a very important, very big issues. They also solve. They remain in the practice for solving these issues. Many examples we can say that the pressure groups has more and more functioning, and they can make a they can work for a single issue and a narrow issue also. Members of their groups remain the united, and they can share everything to the members, and mostly they use accordingly to their workings and their ideology. So these are the pressure groups are defined by three key features. These are the three key features we can say. Pressure groups are defined by three key features. That is, first is they seek to exert influence from outside. They typically have a narrow issue focus, and their members are united by either a shared. What is the history of pressure groups? This is the timing 1830 to 1870s. That is pre-industrial phases. We can say charitable organization assisting the poor represented the dominant form of association. What is this? There is a dominant form of association, and they assisting the poor, and membership in these organizations consisted mostly of the middle class citizens, and the poor people have no membership in the middle class citizens, and they have no this is the organization that is mostly limited to the members of poor people. Second phase corresponds the process of industrialization between the 1860s and early 1900s. During this time, group membership began to cross class line. What is happening in 1860 and 1900s? What has happened? This timings, the group membership began cross class lines. They have to start the cross to the class lines, and their crossing of class line can make a change. That they have make a change, and this period saw the establishment what the happened of crossing the class lines, because they have crossed the class line because they have no membership in a middle group, and the poor people remain always in a class line. And what they do for this, for crossing the class line, they started to make the establishment of economic group, and their economic group can be trade unions have been started, and employers organization has been started. This is the phase when there is a process of industrialization have started, and many economic groups and trade unions is required at this time, because nobody is here to listen the employer's voice. And by these organization and unions and trade unions and groups, and making a cross class line, the members of the organization became more stronger, and they can make the emphasis and influence upon the their organizations heads. So, and for this, because of the in the 1900s, this is the second phase. Agriculture groups formed in order to represent their interest. There is also here, because India is agricultural country, and the agricultural group has been formed, and they want to represent their interest in front of the society. And for this, the organizations of the poor people has become more strong and powerful than that of the middle class group, and they doesn't want to make a compliment and make a uh, co-employee of all these organizations also. The third phase is 1920 to 1950s. We can say this is 1920 to 1950s, and in this phase, the professional association and promotional groups has become formed, and group membership increased to embrace progressively larger segments of the population. That is happening here for the cross class line. The many and many group members of the population has become progressively making the larger association, and they are going to promote their groups, and they are making their groups in a professional and promotional aspect. And this is the time when there is a industrial timings, and 1920 to 90s many of the companies has been startup at this time in England and Europe, and we can say in USA. This is we hear about all of the uh, uh, textile companies and medicine companies, and we can say many shoe companies is started from that timings, and this is the time when the association and pressure groups has make their association. This is a time this we can say this association can have work as pressure groups works nowadays. So this is promotional groups. Group membership increased to impress progressively, and they have make the population larger. The fourth and present phase can be regarded, we can say this is post industrialization. It is characterized by the rise of groups promoting post industrial values. What they are doing there at this time, that is the industrialization time, and this is industrialization. This is the timings of material and protection of materials and product. This timings has a post industrial values, and this is the value that they want. Environmental issues and civil rights they also want, because most of the timings has given the employees in the industry, so they want a post industrial values. They want that their values should be treated and respected by the companies, and the environmental issues should be solved by the companies, because most of the timing there is a many companies that remain bad environment, and they have made the employees in a weaker position. So for this they want the environmental rights and civil rights also they want. In general, post-industrial democracies tend to display a higher level of pluralism than previous phases. What has happened at the time, that most of the democracies is going to start after the post-industrial. They start and they became giving the civil rights, and they are happily agree to make the solving aspect of environmental issues, and these all is values that is related to the members of the associations. They display high level of pluralism than previous phases, because every employees and companies is going to start accordingly to the business laws, and they have to make the members in a very big sense than the previous phases. This is we have discussed also that types of pressure groups, interest groups, and cause groups. Second, insider groups and outsider groups. Interest groups, what is the interest group? We can say that who protect the interest of its member, that is defined, we can say that is interest groups. What is the working and features? What is the main typology they use for making the interest groups? They are concerned to protect or advance the interest of their members. They are totally concerned, they are affected to the protection of the interest of their members, values of their members, and their traditions of their members. Membership is limited. This is a very line noted to be here, that The particular occupation, career, or economic, there is a very limited seats of membership is there. They prefer the persons for that particular occupation, career, or economic position. They are not happy with all of the members that they enter in the group, and they doesn't want to make the group member also. Cause group, a pressure group that exists to advance particular values, ideals, and principles. That is features. What the features is there? That they seek to advance particular ideals or principles. Membership is open to all. This is here that cause group works on the ideals, values, and principles of the workers. That the membership is open to all because there the universality of the values and ideals and principles is respected here. So members are motivated by moral or the betterment of others. Their main functioning is main depend on the betterment of others. This is insider group we also given here. That is the insider group. This is a pressure group to enjoy regular, privileged, and usually institutionalized access to government subcategories. High profile inside. These are the pressure groups that is remain inside of the any government organization and institutions. These are treated as insider groups. So these insider groups has three type. These is high profile insider groups, low profile insider groups, and there is also we have discussed the prisoners groups. Government or consulted only irregularly and not usually at a senior level. Kinds: potential insider groups, outsider groups, necessity, ideological outsider groups. Kind of pressures and pressure politics. We have also given here, and this is pressure groups in legislature. What they do, the group pressures, what they do in the legislature, they work accordingly to the legislation, and they want that the pressure groups work for the they pressure upon the administrator, and for the promotion of the proposal they work and raise a voice for their betterment. And if the bill is not interested, bill has not taken the interest in, and they are feeling to that they are defeating, it may still strive over presidential veto. So this is pressure and pressure politics here. What the group pressures do, they also make a pressure upon the judges, and the pressure politics has also gained access to the century of justice. The courts and group pressures upon political parties and the candidates. Group pressures do to bear upon the political parties and candidates is done through electioneering. So this is that they want a political parties and they make the elections, and their candidates should be uh, make the elections, and their candidate will work accordingly to the pressure groups. There is a types of lobbying, that is direct lobbying. What they do for the direct lobbying, the pressure groups make a communication of a specific person, a specific positioned person of the legislature, and that person can be staff member and any other public official persons and position person. They can communicate, who has a voice in a piece of legislation, who has a very strong voice, that their voice can be heard by the legislation. So they do the direct lobbying. Second, that is grassroots lobbying. Communicates a particular view regarding a specific legislative proposal to the general public and persuades citizens to rely this view to their local legislature. What they do, that they work for the grassroots. They make a voice of the grassroots person, that their proposal can be heard in a legislative, and their citizens and public do for this. The grassroots lobbying. Functions of pressures groups, that is representation, that second is political participation, and third is education. and interests that are not adequately presented through the electoral process or by political parties. That is function of representation. Political participation is there, that pressure groups convince people effectively to develop interest and participation from broad based discussions on pressing issues affecting them. This is, they want, the pressure groups want that their members should make a participation in the political parties, and for after that their voice and their rights will be, they can get easily. For this is political participation they want. Also, education, this is the working that pressure groups operate largely through their ability to communicate with the public and raise political consciousness. This is all about that we have discussed in the pressure groups. This about the education, about the political participation, and about the representation in pressure groups. This is, we have discussed the lobbying, types of lobbying, that is a direct lobbying, grassroots lobbying, and many type of pressure groups that make the pressure on upon the politics. Insider groups we have also discussed, cause group, interest groups. These are the group types here we have given, and more fourth and present case. The history we have also discussed, and this is all about today's topic. I think you all are happy with this topic. So for the today, thank you very much. Namaskar.